So we have a demo from Siyamand. We have a demo from Sipke or Daniel. Sipke usually does the demos. Sultan, demos?
Not a demo, just an announcement.
.Nest?
Yes.
Toby, I'll have my demo ready in 2017. Must be a good one then. Okay. Do I have a demo? I don't have a demo. Might have a topic though. Status. Seven days. Bad merge, clipboard operations in layout element. Oh, clipboard operations, interesting. Yeah, you showed it. Fixed vector, formatted placement file. A formatted placement file with spaces. Vector image. Vector image. Gulp, we talked about it last week already. Fixed JavaScript, we talked about it last week, so I will skip to 6 days. Field set element, as we talked about last week, but I think so. Bertrand, I saw some tweets. What? It wasn't about field set. It was about it was about date and time. Okay, but so field set is good. Okay. I don't know what it does. Is it specific or standard? I will say dynamic forms development or custom thing you did. I mean, any form element has to. Oh, it's an Angular.
Yeah. So that's something that I've been discussing actually with Sipke and Daniel. It's that if you want to create a new element that is a container, that acts as a container, which should be fairly standard because actually when you look at most of the HTML elements, they are containers. Well, there is a lot of boilerplate code that you have to write, and that kind of sucks. But
okay.
So that's basically what you have to do. I'll blog about this, by the way. I'll do a series of posts about how to create new elements. And I'll do one on the field set because it's by far the most complex that I've created so far, and it shouldn't be so complex. So
yeah, because it's just a container, it doesn't have any
yeah, and because it's a container, there is a lot of boilerplate code that is actually mostly copy paste from something else. So. Form actually.
So field set element. Edit. Okay. So it's just field set. The next thing, files. Yes, this one has been fixed 10 times in 3 days. You will see in the history. Files. Fix flashing pop-up. Yeah, and this guy. I saw a change on the class, and you also have to do it in the JavaScript. Weird.
Well, yes and no. This is actually reflecting the setting that the C# is giving. So It should have been this way from the start. That was a mistake from my part.
Gulp everywhere. You see the same bug fixed again on existing files. npm dependency, same thing, 19x into dev. Break element render. See also the field set.
So are
No,
we
it's not.
using NuGet in some instances now?
Sorry?
When I see a packages file, are we using NuGet?
Nope. It's npm, I assume.
Okay. I just see a packages file, that's why I asked.
Where?
Keep going down.
It's not a NuGet package file. It's only for npm for gulp packages basically.
Okay.
And they're not. Yeah, we can talk about it later.
Break element. The break element is the break element that renders the HR tag. Okay, break. So Bertrand, how was it to build elements, forms or not forms elements? What was the experience like?
The experience varies from easy to painful. So HR is the easy one, and field set is the painful one.
Because it was a container.
Yeah, and I have a few that I built that are kind of in between that I built for specific websites. Actually, they are very specialized, and it was quite enjoyable. It's very much like developing a part, but easier. So mostly
so
enjoyable.
Good, but some things can be improved, and it will be perfect.
Yeah.
Good. And yeah, if you have a blog post about how to do that, that would be awesome, because I think nobody knows unless you want to pay IDeliverable to do it for you. Which is like most of the things in Ocean.
So I didn't pay them. I actually got free advice from them, so thanks.
Recursive layout rendering. Yes, we saw this bug actually when we did a simple, when we tested the feature. I remember Thursday you were not here, but I mean Sipke and Daniel, but we found this issue. It blocked completely the system. If you were adding for instance a query containing a page, in the page it break everything. Correction element driver. And maybe this is how you found it too. This thing here. Decoupling dynamic forms. I saw this thing, and my comment here for Zoltan, I don't know, is there were spaces before. Now there are tabs. That works. It's supported, but we prefer spaces.
Actually, there were tabs and spaces mixed.
Oh, good. So that's good. Yeah. Just so not as bad then.
Yes, the issue with text files is that even if you have it configured in Visual Studio that tabs should be spaces, that's not what happens for text files.
That's weird.
Just for source files, at least for me. So every time, if you have, I think the bar commands or whatever extension installed, every time you modify module.txt, you will insert a tab and it will complain.
So here I see tabs. tab, and I see spaces.
Maybe it will insert tabs then if you hit enter after a tabbed in line.
No, you have the thing configured that converts your tabs to spaces. That's what you'll have turned on.
Here, if I hit enter, it will keep the tabs, but if I hit tab, it will convert them to spaces. Yeah, that must be configuration. Well, it's not critical. It's supported. We support both tabs and spaces here. It's just that we agree that we should use spaces.
Well, when I configure my Visual Studio settings to do spaces for text files, my editor seems to respect it, even when I reformat. I think it's the trouble with that add-in that detects inconsistent spacing or whatever.
Maybe. Well, we'll fix it later. This one is interesting for two reasons. This one is interesting for two reasons. Because it's a new feature, it's handy. Created UTC, last login UTC. And 2096.
Do users have the common part associated to them?
No, and they can't have.
We talked about it, I think, when we opened this issue.
I remember we did talk about it.
I don't remember the conclusion of the discussion. I just remember we had this discussion.
Yeah, I think I was the one who asked us that question before as well.
/2096.
And this issue is also interesting because it was among the top voted on code flags.
Yeah, but no, users they are dumb. So it's not because it's top voted that we need to follow that. Orchard is just a community of dumb users. Otherwise, they will not use Orchard. So we should not trust them. Add registration then, and it's open for dev.
Yeah, we should probably totally disregard feedback because
yes. Look at those guys. Abhishek, I can't remember his name. You see, so this guy SFMS SKY Walker. Who are they? Okay, so done. So so you did that by upgrading the migrations. You return 3 on the create. Oh, this is something I would like to change, actually. Guys, I want to talk about it. I had an idea. What we should do. Let me see. So it's not the case here, but let me explain the issue. Let's say we have some migrations which will delete a column. It happens sometimes. Okay. Let's say we add a new one, we delete one because we don't use it anymore. I think we should not delete the columns we don't use anymore.
Why?
And yes, I will explain you. I think we should not delete the columns in an update method, but just remove it from the create, so that it's not creating during a create, and we create it as full, okay, and return the correct version number as it's fully created. There is no further update method behind, but we don't delete in an upgrade one. We just ignore it. We just let it be. The reason being that you have an Orchard instance running, okay, and there is this new version which will do a delete. Let's say you want to deploy it in a staging slot. And I use the word slot because this is what Azure Websites uses. Azure Web Apps, sorry, uses. So you have 2 Orchard machines working in the same database. One is a new version and one is the old version. If we were to delete during a migration, the new version will delete the column which is currently used in production. Okay? So if we don't delete it, then they are fine. They can work with the same database. And then we can switch the staging to prod whenever we want. And we just not create the colon on a new setup of our thread, just in the create. So I think this is something we should do in case we have some deletions later on. That allows the smooth staging to prod migration.
I agree. I so much agree that this is actually a practice that's quite common in enterprise environments. We actually do that for our own sites because it's not just that you can deploy an old application to staging, but if you swap out the staging to live and all the migrations run on the live DB, but something goes wrong, you can swap back and you can run the old application with the already migrated live database. So that's something for reliability.
What if there's a constraint on the old column? So you may no longer reference it. However, you can no longer use the system because you haven't dropped that column because there's a constraint on it.
You can remove constraint if you want, but what was the issue with the constraint if we keep the column?
Let's say the constraint was not null, okay? And so you
will just drop the constraint.
Right,
in this
okay.
case. Or you can define in the migration from 3 to 4. I know one saying default value equals something that is default and is no more used. Like I don't know. So there are solutions. Yes, this will allow existing setups to staging the same prod DB. Okay, so update add colon. Oh, I have another one actually related to that. I have another one related to that specific change. Last login UTC. Should we have a last logout UTC also?
That's actually recorded by audit trail.
Yes, but created and last login would also be recorded by audit trail. Wouldn't they? Or couldn't we? Because we can have custom events. But for security reasons, let me explain. Today, if you authenticate and you have a cookie, okay, because the default provider is a forms authentication, so you have a cookie. And then when you have a next request, you have the authentication cookie, so it's authenticated again. Now, let's say we don't use HTTPS, which is the default in our thread. I can see the cookie, I can read the cookie, I can save it, I can even steal it. And the user logs out, but I have the cookie. So if I go back to the site, even if he logged out explicitly, I will be logged in again if I put the cookie back. If we had the last logout or the logout UTC, and if the logout UTC is greater than the login UTC, then we know that the user has logged out, and we should not accept the cookie until the user has explicitly logged in.
I really don't know much about security, but how common is session hijacking if you use SSL?
So
I mean,
this is a good, yeah,
quite involved.
I understand. So this is what we should suggest to everyone. Use SSL if you have authentication, for sure. It's just that we could prevent these kind of things more easily. So by default, ASP.NET has this issue. Unless you use the membership user class with the, I don't know in which package it is, and then this thing will do that for you. Okay, just seeing if people have opinions about that, but this might be something I will add soon.
I like it. I think it would be a good thing to have.
Shouldn't we have automatic logout on idle time for that to be effective?
No, it's really when the user clicks log out, it's a way to prevent the cookie to be valid again. So first we need to ensure that the time of the cookie is not like 1 year or 30 days, more like 1 hour or 2 hours. And then is to ensure that when you explicitly logged out, nobody can hijack your cookie.
Yeah, that's right. But users, I don't think really tend to log out explicitly all the time.
I agree.
Unless
for security reason, you explicitly want to log out. Like you are in a public computer, you don't know how they keep the cookies, if they record it or whatever about the security of the network. So you say, I log out. If the guy next to you, it's the same session, I will log in again. I don't know.
Actually, probably that's the best scenario for this kind of prevention, because there it's possible that they will steal your cookie on the same machine, because there can be anything. So that's one we could prevent.
Okay, so this one, what did you change here? Back to the diff clock, because now we need a clock. Thank you. My question. Event handler. Someone didn't mute. Fix compilation issue on dynamic forms admin views. Okay, so this was missing reference. That's weird that those references appear just right now. I see you did that for 2 of them, but it makes sense. Okay. Didn't display submit button text if there was none configured. Okay. Missing reference mail library, same thing as 2 commits ago. And this one, because I'm using VS 2015, it creates some new folder, the .vs, which is a hidden folder with configuration files. So now it's excluded. I will, WIP means work in progress. I will push it later with the work I'm doing here. So, questions? I won't talk about it before. I've got a security vulnerability report last week that I will fix and deploy a patch for. The question I have to talk about is how should we handle that compared to what we do today? So there is a page. Today, what do we have? Today we have a page here. Let me show you. Here, security. By the way, I think it's not, it should be on the website and not on the documentation. I made a mistake here. So we have this security researcher acknowledgement, and we have also links to submit any security vulnerability. Please send an email to whatever email. Today it comes to me, okay? And I communicate usually, I say usually because I haven't communicated it with the other members. I usually communicate with the steering committee to let them know about the issue and that I will work on that and release a patch for previous versions and about the impact on the system, if it's critical or not. So what I usually do is that I create a commit. So last time actually I did that. The bug was already fixed in a previous branch because Zoltan and Lombiq had found a security issue and had fixed that on 1.8x. And then we got a report from a researcher, and then we fixed it in 1.9x as another commit. And only then we shipped the patch for well, the vulnerability was fixed and deployed and pushed in the source code, but we only announced the issue once we had the patches ready for all the previous versions. Would you have done anything different? Like not communicate at all, like not even push it to the dev branch, but just publish patches for all the versions before even having it as a public fix without acknowledging the issue? I think we did a good thing, but I've heard some other CMS, PHP ones, that did something even worse, which was actually saying they fixed something else, but actually included the patch for the bug and never said that it was an issue. So everyone agrees that what we are doing is a good thing. We get the private announcement, we fix it, we push the bug fix on the source code, and then we announce it to everyone with the patches to everyone.
Have you told people about the existing, the new security bug?
Sorry, I didn't get the.
Have you informed the steering committee about the new bug?
Not yet. Ah. We got a security vulnerability, last month, something like that. And once I got it, I announced to the steering committee, and they are here, so they can confirm.
Okay.
For this one, I got the report like 3 days ago.
It was over Twitter, wasn't it?
Sorry?
It was over Twitter. The guy contacted you.
No. Oh yes, he asked me where to post the security vulnerability. Yes, and I gave him my address and also the page where we announced we explain how to work with security disclosures. And so I acknowledged the security vulnerability, and I'm working on a patch right now. So we'll ship soon an updated fix. The steering committee doesn't know what it is about yet, but now everyone knows there is one. So I was just wondering if we are doing the correct thing, or if there were some things we could improve. I don't know.
I think we're doing the right thing. I think the turnaround time was pretty fast last time, so I think it was good.
Current process. Okay, let's go on. Then demos wants to start. Siyamand, because you are new, we'll have you start. Or if you prefer Sipke to start, because he's an old dude, he knows everything about demos.
Hello to all. Yes, if possible, I wanted to start. 15
minutes? Is that okay?
60 minutes. Yes.
What? 15.
15 minutes. Yes.
Okay. I heard 60. I was like, no. Okay, good. Let's go. I need to unshare my screen.
Yes, let me share my screen. Share. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. We have to wait for Benedict to see it because he's recording. So you can only start when he's said it's okay.
Okay.
It's loading now, so it should be a few seconds.
Actually, the demo is about a module which adds a ticketing system to the org chart. Well, actually, the idea is working on a content is a permanent work, keeping the content in a good shape. And usually different people work on the content, like designers, developers, customers, publishers, editors. So they need a way to collaborate with each other working on the content. And yes, the module provides a simple way to do that. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, let me install the module, or actually enable it. Why it is too slow?
Is a curse of demos.
Yes, probably. Maybe because it is loading the chart. Okay. Here I enable it. Well, after enabling it, I will add a navigation menu for the tickets. It is enabled. I will come to the navigation, and here we have ticket menu item, which let us create navigation links for the tickets. There are some parameters to filter the tickets, like which group, which user. Actually, it shows the users who have operator permission, which is a new permission added by the module, due date for the tickets, and status. I let the fields empty and just create the navigation link. Okay. Next step, I add a new part to the page content, which enable me to create tickets for the page. The part is called tickets for content item. And save it here. Okay. Now, if I visit a page, I will see a tickets menu here, which contains add new tickets and overroute tickets, new ticket, open ticket, solve ticket, which are empty because there is no ticket for it. If I click on this icon, I can hide the tickets menu. If I click on the add, it will navigate to create a ticket page. Here I see the content that is related to this ticket. I can view it, edit it, or publish, unpublish it. And here I can create the ticket. This is for test. And the other fields, I let them empty. I just assign the ticket to myself. I can upload files. And the ticket is created. I return back to this page. And refresh the page. I can see there is a ticket with no status here. If I click on it, I will be navigated to the list of the tickets. Here is the filter. If I remove it, I will see the list of the all tickets, which is only one ticket. I can assign tickets to different groups or agents, edit them. I can also create sub-tickets for this ticket. And here by clicking on create sub-ticket, I can also share it with the other people. For example, I can assign it to a group or another agent, or I can give edit access to some other people, or add them as a watcher for the ticket. I will see here there is now the sales group has a read-only access to the ticket. And the module also adds a bunch of workflow activities for custom usage. If I go to the workflows, there are two workflows here, three workflows actually. One is related for the commenting, and this one sent email to the assigner of the ticket. This one sent email to the reporter of the ticket. And there are email templates here, which I can use custom tokens in it related to the ticket. For example, if we see this one, here is the title of the ticket, the full name of the user, the other properties of the ticket, and returning back to the workflows and the activities. They are create ticket activity, which can be used in publishing a new content or anything else. There is updating ticket. There is ticket type branch, which we can create a branch in the workflow for different ticket types, for different services of the ticket, different status of the ticket. Where is the status? It's not added. And also, I can use, for example, this permission created activity for creating a new permission. Actually, here, when I share the ticket with the sales group, a new permission is created for the sales group to access this ticket. And there are also some query filters for the tickets, which can be used to create customized queries. Let me create a new query. Listing query. Let's edit it. Add a new filter. Well, first thing is content type. Should be ticket. And for example, other query filters like user, the ticket is related to which business unit, which permissions, what's the requesting user, the status of the ticket, ticket type, ticket due date. Let me use the status new. Save. Let's create a simple layout. separate them by HR line. If I go to the, no, first I should create a projection.
You can also just quick query and see preview results.
Yes. And items. Well, this projection shouldn't see anything because there is no new ticket. But if I change the ticket to a new ticket, I should be able to see it. Is it? On the projection. Well, here it's the ticket status is new. And the other thing, well, I added the ticket dashboard too. Which can be used to view the tickets summary. Well, I have a new ticket and the old ticket in the system are only one. And yes, it was the ticketing module, the first version. I wanted to add a bunch of the other features to it, like activity history and make it more Ajaxable, easy to use, reporting, and things like that.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Thank you. That's great. I didn't think about having tickets directly integrated in the content. I'm sure some others in the group will say, well, that was abuse. We do that all the time in enterprise. Well, they will recognize themselves. But yeah, it's interesting. I would have done some things differently. Like I see your page currently, it's on the front end. I personally, I'm not a very proponent for front end facing administration. I would have just let it in the admin with more pages like manage your tickets and see everything, your dashboard and everything in the admin, and just expose
it
links.
depends if those users have no other reason to go to the dashboard.
Well,
you don't have to give them the permission to go to the dashboard. So.
Even their only permission could be dashboard plus manage tickets, and they couldn't do nothing but dashboard manage tickets.
We can actually add the dashboard to a special as a special widget to a special layer, which actually with a layer that has operator permission.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. So, is it open source?
Yes.
I see that Antoine shared the link, orchardcollaboration.com.
Yes.
That's good. I like the idea.
Actually, I created a website for it. The other, it can also be used as a help desk or CRM to communicate with the end users or customers. It has a customer permission, and customer permission has limit access to the tickets.
Yeah. So I assume Zoltan would like to ask a question that I will ask for him, which is why didn't you use a specific content type for the tickets and a content item so that you can customize the tickets with the properties that you might want. Like you have today 5 states, open, close, or I don't know, new. Maybe I want to have them editable, to be able to change them, or to have new other properties, things like that. And this is where Hotshot can help you into that. So because I see it's a custom type, why not have it as a extensible content? Or maybe it's already extensible. I just didn't see that.
Yes, it is extensible. Actually, we can edit the basic data.
No, it's okay. You just have to tell us and we understand because we don't have time for more demos. But okay. Ticket types. Yeah, yeah.
Missing here is status, but status also is in the database as a table.
But
so
it's not a content type as in Orchard. It's not an extensible content type. Okay.
Status itself not, but ticket itself is a content type.
Yeah, that's fine too. That works.
Business units are content, for example.
Yeah, you see, you have the notion of business units because maybe it made sense for your context or your customer. And maybe some other users will not call it business unit or will not have business unit, maybe have teams, sub-teams, or division, groups, and different things. That's why I'm saying if it's completely customizable, people will adapt to their language, to their properties. Because this kind of ticketing thing, every company will have different needs and different, or even in every project, you might need different fields to provide for that. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see how you can manage the content, the website content by creating tickets. It's like work items inside the website itself. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's impressive, and it also comes with documentation.
I like the fact that you implemented all the parts like queries, work items, workflow activities. That is integrated with the full system. Yeah.
Yes, it also has documentation here.
So you have to remove it. You can't have documentation with an Orchard module. Otherwise, it's too easy to use, and then people will join the project, and no, you just need clever people. Actually, you don't need documentation to use the module. Good.
Every developer should have to go through the same suffering.
Look at the code. No documentation.
Yes, it's all possible. And here is a architecture of the module.
Oh, that's too much. There is already more documentation than Orchard. It can't be. You need to delete it.
Okay, that's certainly impressive.
Diagrams. There are diagrams. So you are the new guy responsible for the Orchard documentation now. We'll give you access to the documentation GitHub repository, and you can contribute to it. Okay.
Sébastien was serious, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we're always taking. Yeah, it's better than what we have. So, okay. Yes, thank you. I'm sure we'll talk about this module in more meetings. And please inform us if there are any improvements. Of
course.
Sipke. Sipke.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Ivo?
I have a demo. So,
good. Do you have documentation?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, no, never. Don't say yet, say never.
Never, it's a true Orchard module. Actually, it's not, but we'll get to that. So, Siyamand, could you please stop sharing your screen?
I did.
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
You will.
So let me know when you can see my screen. What I'd like to show is the slides module that I've demoed this a while back, but there were some things that weren't done yet. So Daniel and I have been working on it and really finished it this first version. So I'd like to show some of those features. Essentially, a slideshow we implemented as a slideshow part as well as an element. So we have, for example, a slideshow type. And this slideshow consists of, well, slides. Let's call this one a slideshow. And what we added in this version is that there's a notion of slides providers, which means there can be any. It's an extensible set of sources for slides for a slideshow. The default one is a static provider, which enables you to manually create slides, or using one of the import tools to generate slides based on media or content. So let me show that first. Before we can do that, in this case, we need to save the content item before we can add slides. Otherwise, we'll lose. It needs to associate the slides with the content item. Slides, by the way, are stored in the fields info set of the content item. So there's no separate content items for slides. And here we see that we can create slides in 3 ways at least. Whatever method you choose, it will all end up into being a slide. So let's create a manual slide first. Let's not go this route. Let's use.
Did you pay for it? Do you have the license?
Actually, no.
That's why it didn't work.
Local requests work. We'll get to that in a second as well, because this indeed it's a licensed module. More on that shortly. Let's create some slides based on some images. For example, these 3. So what happens now when clicking save? 3 slide objects have been created and stored with this content item. So that's one way to generate those slides. But as you'll see, every slide itself, it's just a layout, not a layout content item, but it's a controller that knows how to edit this slide. Reusing the layout editor, obviously this needs to be fixed, where you can edit an individual slide. But that doesn't hinder the demo for now. So when we publish this, I should not forget about slides providers. Slideshows can be rendered using, there's tons of slideshow players out there, like jCarousel, the Carousel player, many more. And out of the box, this module comes with jCarousel and Bootstrap, which we already had the other day we demoed this. But this time we don't require the theme to be Bootstrap enabled. So you can just choose the Bootstrap engine. For example.
We are losing you, Sipke. I don't think I'm the only one.
I was wondering if it was just me.
I could hear Sipke until 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, like everyone. No, we don't hear you.
So Sébastien, you sound good.
Okay, now we can hear you.
So, well, if I'm still here, so this is the Bootstrap slideshow player, and it's easily changed to some other profile. Slideshow profiles are a set of settings for.
And I still think it should be in the theme and not in the admin dashboard. I don't have any users, but I would not like my users to be able to say, oh, it's Bootstrap or Elements or jQuery Carousel or whatever. The theme.
Not necessarily. There is a precedent here. Actually, there is a precedent for all of those features. But what we did in well, I'll name it in one-stop slides is that I think there are settings, so you can exactly you can have settings that are specific to the slideshow provider that you're using, and the parameters won't be the same depending on which you choose. I mean, they're all different. So.
Yeah, and they can be pre-configured using these profiles, and using permissions, we could restrict, content editors from changing those, and all they would have to change is the profile if they have that permission.
Okay, so maybe I'm just reminding, and instead of calling it by the technical name, maybe by a usefulness name, like, I don't know, simple carousel or fast one or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's this profile name field for it. So you could name this to simple.
Yeah, I don't want to show that the implementation detail in this case. Otherwise, I will let me give you an HTML editor and place. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's an interesting thought. We'll think about that some more. So
too polite.
So, well, that was a slideshow content item. Of course, we also have slideshow widget using the same slideshow part, so you can place widgets anywhere you like.
Okay, and what you didn't show us was that a slide is a layout. So a slide
is a layout.
Okay,
yes.
And you can use
exactly.
Okay.
But
now we show it. Okay.
It's important to know that understand that it's not a slide. A slide is not a layout content item. So it's all stored as part of the info set. So data query wise, it's very efficient. And what I'm showing here is the slideshow element under the media category. And this is a pretty advanced element, I have to say. I think this is currently the only element that has multiple edit screens. For example, this is one page where you can change some properties, but from edit screen you can actually import some items used to generate slides.
We lost him.
Am I still there? No.
It's very bad. We can still see, so go on.
So you let me know if you can hear me. So these are providers. So we could choose a projection or a list as the source. Let's do a quick demo of that. Let's create a quick query. We need that first. Just created a product type for this demo. We'll create products.
So why didn't you create instead 3 different types of slideshows, like a content item slideshow, a list slideshow, projection slideshow?
Oh,
just...
interesting. Yeah, we could do that. Not at this point, but then it would have to be a content type part setting. That's interesting. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, then you would have a different type. But then we would also have to create different types of elements, like a.
That's what I was meaning. Nice. That's what I was meaning. Different types of elements.
Yeah. The nice thing about the slideshow part is that we could use that part to have a property called slide provider, and then configure it to be query or list or whatever. but we don't have that mechanism with elements, so we would have to actually implement 3 types of elements. Maybe that's nice. We should consider that. Products.
Yo, I heard you like slideshows. So can you put a slideshow element inside of a slide?
Yes, you can. That's nested
Because it's
elements.
layout.
Jake herself supports that.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, totally. I'll tell you if we have time.
What kind of website does it make? Do you have an example? I want to see one that does that.
Sadly,
sure
I have an example.
You see Couture?
No, not this one, but you're warm.
I don't remember which one had slideshows on the big ones. Okay, not this one. The one
before.
John
Varvatos.
John Varvatos. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one.
Yeah, because I know this one has big slides.
Yeah, so if you choose a dynamic source of slides provider, such as projection or lists, you get to specify the display type for each item being rendered. So by default, it would use detail. You can use summary or your own custom display type, so you can theme those individual items for that display type. So now we should have a slideshow of products, which looks boring, of course, has new styles.
But this is also that's fine.
So you're
Yep.
just displaying each of the items in the query results as
That is
a
correct.
slide.
Exactly.
But using the layout.
Not a huge
Yeah.
layout, no.
Did you see what One Stop Slideshow is doing for projections?
Yeah, I can't recall the details.
So it's a little more complicated. It's actually interesting because you can actually define. There is a notion of a container that has that defines the context of what's inside. So it's as if you had an element that is a container element, and its context is what things will be evaluated against inside. So for example, if you display a price, it will look up in the container and say, okay, well, this is the content item I want the price of.
I remember, yeah.
And this way you can actually define slideshows where you have 3 different, on the same slide, you would have 3 different contexts. And when you create a slideshow from a projection, it would actually, every time there is a container in the slideshow, it would use the current item in the query as the context. I don't know if it's very clear what I'm saying, but the idea is that you could have a slide where you have 3 products, for example, with different layouts, and you can have a very varied, lively slideshow where each slide has a different layout, but it still comes from a projection. So that's an idea you might want to look at and see if there is something to reproduce. And it was all based on the idea of a container that has a context, and the projection was actually setting. Yeah, and it was the projection that was setting the context for those.
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting. We should definitely think about that. That would be a nice feature for a second version. This is version 1.0, but that will be that could be a nice enhancement, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
So I just showed this thing here. It's well, as I mentioned, it's a licensed module. So
as long as it's free for the steering committee, nobody cares.
It's free for everyone on your local. So local, you can use it as long as you like on your local machine. As soon as you want to use in production, you will have to buy a license. You can enter it here. You can't use this one. This is my license key, so forget about this. Yeah, that was actually very interesting to. That was very interesting to implement. It's actually valid verifying the license against a licensing service, and on your local token will be stored, and so that's efficient. It won't query the licensing service on every request. It's very highly optimized. But we had lots of fun, frustration as well. but it was fun to do.
That's basically what we've spent this like 1.5 weeks in Cyprus doing is building out an infrastructure to be able to have a paid and licensed orchard module. So it was an interesting experience. We're not making any promises to the effect, but we are toying with the idea of maybe making this reusable for others to also piggyback off of this, licensed orchard module infrastructure and concept that we built out. So more on that to come, hopefully.
I don't like it, but I like it.
Oh,
Sébastien likes open source.
Yeah, I like everything to be free as long as Microsoft pays my salary. Okay, but I like it because I know not everyone works at Microsoft and pays them to work on Orchard. So that's why I like it still.
That was the demo. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Great. Good. Wrap up. Too long. Too many demos. Questions before we close the meeting?
One announcement.
Oh yes, sorry, your announcement.
But just 2 sentences. You can now create .NET sites from the Azure Marketplace. So if you have an Azure subscription, check it out. You can create it in the same way as from .NET. So there is a free and there is a paid version as well.
Can you show us next week, because I didn't get what was the value of that. Can you show us next week what we can do and what's the value on .NET compared to Orchard? On the Azure Gallery, I mean.
Well, .NET is a hosted Orchard, so you get the same from Azure. The difference is that if you want a paid version, then you pay through Azure, and it's all Azure integrated.
Okay.
But if you want to create an Azure resource provider, like we did, because that's called an Azure resource provider, well, my first advice would be don't do it.
I did that.
Yeah, and how was it?
Well, that was my job for the last 6 months, so I can tell you everything about Azure resource providers. Don't worry. An RP, we call it an RP.
Yeah, an RP.
Ah, yeah, so you made that. It's crazy. I will look at it. Crazy. You had to create an RP. Fuck.
Yes, it was crazy. But if you need help, we can help you with that because we now know everything about that.
No, you don't know everything about that because there are so many more things to know about that you don't know. That you don't have to.
I don't want to think about those things that I don't know about RPs because it's already too much.
Interesting. Okay. Crazy. Good. So please show us the new integration next week. Thanks everyone. See you on Thursday.
Bye everyone.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.